Hello? This does not say we're live, but I'm going to say we're live. Hello and thank you once again for stopping by the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. I am Thomas Metal 75. Hello if you didn't hear that, and this is your Massachusetts Beer Reviews. Today I had to go to the dentist. It is, the date here is Saturday the 24th of Saturday, February 24th, 2018. Had to go to the dentist this morning. Didn't need to get an oil change. Packed place. Took a little while. So now I am hungry. And there's a new Moe's Southwest Grill that opened up in my local area on the border of the towns of Foxborough and Mansfield, Massachusetts. So I have a Moe's burrito and some free chips and queso. It was like $10.30 for the junior steak burrito, which was 10 inches instead of their 12. And it had on it steak, brown rice, grilled mushrooms, onions, peppers, salsa, guacamole, sour cream, cheese, and I believe I actually put pickled jalapenos. So I thought this is a great time to review this beer that I bought recently. Equis Ambar, which is a Vienna-style lager, which was created in Mexico in 1897 by a German brewmaster who blended his brewing heritage with the spirit of Mexican traditions. Originally called Singolo XX to celebrate the arrival of the 20th century, it later became known simply as Dos Equis. And all they say is that this is a Vienna-style lager of a distinctive amber color with subtle hints of roasted malts. It is surprisingly smooth to drink with a clean finish. I believe it's 5.3% alcohol by volume with 57, did I read correctly, IBUs? Yeah, we get, I think the 12-pack that I bought ended up being $14.29 or 14 and some amount of change. So yeah, let's unveil the Moe's, shall we? Moe's. And let's pour a... Okay, so you need a bottle opener for Dos Equis, +1. +2 for Dos Equis Ambar. Not in a green bottle. This is brewed in Monterrey at the Cervecería Cuauhtémoc Montezuma. And I believe Heineken International owns 100% of Dos Equis Ambar. So let's take a look at, or just Dos Equis, the brand. So let's take a look at Dos Equis Ambar. Ambar is a really correct terminology. It's going to be similar to your other amber beers from Mexico, like a Modelo Negro or a Victoria Lager. They're both Vienna-style lagers. This one's very chestnut, kind of with that reddish chestnut kind of a twinge to it, copper, rusty color. Somewhat of a white head in the Sam Adams glass, but more it's kind of off-white, almost tan. Not much of a head, but Sam Adams glass does Boston Lager glass, which is another Vienna lager, but this glass does create carbonation or force it by the etching on the bottom of the glass. Very sweet, very grainy, very malty. There is some nuttiness to it. Definitely has toasty notes to it. Definitely grains in there. Spicy hop aroma. Kind of smells like a really basic lager, but it does have more character going on with the addition of roasting your malt. So here's burrito. Steak burrito, Moe's, 10-inch. We will get into that in a moment. Let's try the Dos Equis Ambar on camera, guys. Cheers and thank you all for watching live. You can tell that the adjunct is corn. There's definitely a corn or a corn syrup maybe, or like the brewer's syrup, kind of a sweetness in there. The sweetness is very upfront. The toasted malts and grains are very upfront next to the sweetness. There's like a brown bread crust element to it. There's a little bit of a brown sugary kind of a sweetness in there, or maybe light molasses. Like I said, definitely toasty, definitely malty, definitely grainy, definitely like some corn huskiness to it, wet cardboard seller kind of element to it. I was trying to say something and I lost my train of thought there. Mouthfeel is light to medium, but pretty light, really. Very crisp, it's pretty clean. There's a little bit of like even a lightest hint of coffee, if that makes sense. And even a tiny touch of a souring twinge as it finishes. Since this is kind of Mexican, Tex-Mexy, this is Mexican beer, let's see if it goes with our Moe's steak burrito. Cheers. Yeah, pickled jalapenos. Wow. Pickled jalapenos are definitely giving the burrito that vinegary heat. I believe they have the seeds on them, if I'm correct in that. This is pretty good. Steak, peppers, onions, mushrooms. What can't beat your love there? So I'm going to pull out some of these chips. They give you these free chips, and they're pretty good chips. They kind of have a homemade, not bought at a store kind of feel to them. So they're very light. Very light and crisp. It's probably corn oil or, I don't know what kind of oil they're using to fry these chips, but you can definitely taste that there's an oil kind of an element to it. Very salty. Once you get to the bottom of the bag, the chips just keep getting more and more salty. It has to be a corn chip. That's why I say corn oil or something like that. So, and they say, do you want guacamole or salsa or queso with the chips? So, you can't even see it, but there's the queso. Let's try some queso with the chip. Yeah, they're otherwise pretty plain and just have a salt and corn component to that. So now that I've taken another bite of the burrito, let's try it with the Dos Equis Ambar and see if the Dos Equis Ambar is improved with food. The whole meal, Tyler asked how much it was. Tyler Mansell. Whole meal was $10.30. It's very clean, the beer, with the food. It actually cuts out a lot of the sweetness. The food cuts out a lot of the sweetness of the beer. And it helps to clean the palate. Did I say cheese? There's cheese on here. And it helps to reset the palate and just kind of be clean tasting. Although the flavor of the beer is still not strong enough to compete with the pickled jalapenos. But how would I rate the beer overall? Just very light, crisp, clean, easy drinking. $14 and change for a 12-pack is not the greatest deal when you can get other beers of similar quality or maybe even better for cheaper. but it's not the worst beer in the world. For more of a mass-produced kind of a beer, this is typically what I would like to go for. From Mexico, the darker lagers have just more, and the Vienna-style lagers have more character and nuances going on. The burrito certainly has more character than the beer. So if I gave the beer an 84 and I gave the burrito a 90, there's your quality difference. So it's good, and it pairs well with the Moe's Southwest Grill. All these chips remaining to be eaten. So thanks for stopping by. Good beer. Nothing to write home about, but certainly a good option from Mexico. So until next time, this has been the Dos Equis Ambar. Keep tasting those great beers. We have to shout out Tyler Mansell and Gabriel Celia, for I believe he's from Phoenix, Arizona, that are live watching and chatting. And I bet you my buddy Mark is watching as the third person. So cheers to everybody. I'm going to finish this burrito. See you soon.